Beauty standards vary across different aspects in our society, from culture to culture, from person to person. We also kind of all have our own idea of what we personally find attractive. I think though that we all kind of fall into the same trap of trying to reach a standard that we feel will make us stand out in the crowd. Of course, social media plays a big role in this too. Images are edited to reflect beauty standards that we simply cannot meet. Especially if you're a young teenager scrolling through Instagram, you're constantly bombarded by both women and men who are edited in a way to make them look a million times better than they do in real life. And editing has gotten so easy on these social media apps now that it's so hard to kind of determine what is real and what is fake. And of course, this is going to have a huge negative effect on the mental health of young people today. I am almost 30 years old and it affects me negatively as well sometimes. All these factors create scenarios where people get surgery in an attempt to obtain these high unachievable standards. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with getting work done, but I do think it's a dangerous game that can lead to obsessive behaviour and multiple procedures and thousands upon thousands of euros spent. One of the biggest issues I believe arise from these surgeries is the surgeons themselves. Now, I'm in no way claiming that this applies to all plastic surgeons, but I believe an argument can be made on the ethical and moral implications of surgeons who will exploit mentally ill people by allowing these multiple invasive surgeries to happen simply because they make a bigger profit, rather than evaluating the mental health of someone who is seeking all these procedures. Of course, doctors have to be upfront about the effect of these procedures, respect the request of patients, have consent, and also inform these patients on the health risks involved. But that being said, it is a billion-dollar industry for a reason. There's countless examples of celebrities in mainstream Hollywood who have gotten procedures in an attempt to keep up with the beauty standards that is set by their own industry. You see it most commonly in the older generation of actors and models who desperately fight against aging to keep themselves as relevant as possible. Of course, most people working in the industry have a lot of money to spend, and we're also noticing these days that a lot of the younger stars are also falling into the same trap and spending a lot of money getting procedures done to maintain the standards that they believe is what to keep them relevant in the industry. And I believe this is something that seeps into general society, and a lot of people fall into this hole of trying to reach these standards set by Hollywood because their favourite actor has a certain look that they want to achieve, and they, I think, deep down believe if they can mimic the look of a particular actor, they can achieve the same dreams that these actors have achieved. But today I want to look at a few extreme examples of people who simply go too far in trying to achieve a version of what they believe beauty is. Justin Jelica is also known as the human Ken doll and is probably one of the most extreme examples I've ever seen. Justin's surgeries began when he was only 18 years old, starting with a nose job. He would go on to have over 150 procedures in a world of silicone incisions and implants. Some of these surgeries included bicep, tricep, pectoral and shoulder implants, to name but a few. Now, of course, professionals in the psychological world claim he has a mental disorder, but he sees it as a commitment to changing his form is no different than someone that changes their fashion standards. To me, and of course, side note, I am not a psychologist, but I would see someone who has extreme insecurity of who he is, and I think what he really needs to do is talk to a psychiatrist and explore why he is searching for perfection and to find a way to help him see that his flaws make him who he is. I would also argue that the doctors who perform these expensive procedures on Justin are exploiting and enabling behaviour that is not healthy. Brian Ray is another example of a person who has spent over $80,000 on over 90 surgeries, including getting veneers, a no job, Botox treatment, fat injections into his cheeks, lip fillers and laser hair removal in an attempt to look like Britney Spears. Again, this is someone trying to achieve something that is not attainable and something that will ultimately not make him happy in the way he believes it will. Brian is someone to me that isn't happy with who he is, and these procedures are expensive and life-altering, and enabling these kind of procedures again is, to me, is dangerous and unethical. Now, the kind of most bizarre one I've come across is a man by the name of Vinnie O, who has had over 110 procedures costing around $60,000 to achieve his goal of being a genderless alien. Now, to me, this is someone that actually severely needs professional help to address why he wants to do this. He also wants to have his genitals removed completely and have just a hole to pee out of. He's someone that clearly needs serious help.
I'm looking to have gender unassignment. I'm looking to change my genitals so that way there is nothing there, just maybe like a hole to pee out of.
But I'm sure in LA he will find a doctor who will be willing to perform this specific procedure on him. I do not judge Vinnie in any sort of way, but I do struggle to understand what it is that makes him want to do these things. Another kind of bizarre one is an American woman by the name of Tiffany, who had 13 plastic surgeries to look like Trump's daughter Ivanka Trump. She's had breast augmentation, a nose job, cheek injections, an eye lift, liposuction and fat grafts added to her cheek. Obviously, this goes without saying, but she sees Ivanka Trump as her idol, and at the time her own 6-year-old daughter as well as her friends can't understand why she is doing this to herself. Pixie Fox had 6 ribs removed to achieve a tiny waist reflecting that of a cartoon character by the name of Jelica Rabbit from the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Some of her procedures she had done included 4 breast augmentations, 4 nose jobs, ear surgery, liposuction and an entire jaw reconstruction, as well as a couple of Brazilian butt lifts. She's also had eyelid surgery, and that's just to name but a few. She reckons she's had over 200 procedures done. So finally, the last person I want to talk about is Jelica Alves. Jelica has spent over $1 million and had over 100 operations. She's actually formerly known as Rodrigo has, or a dehuman Ken doll. She's known as Jelica and claims to be happy with how she looks, and claimed that she is done with getting any more procedures. That being said though, in January of this year, she got a facelift in an attempt to prevent aging. She also came out as transgender in 2020, and you could argue that she is completely unrecognizable as of the person she was before she had all that surgery over 21 years ago. Now there is shockingly so many more examples I could share with you all, but I think my point is kind of made here. The video isn't about ridicule or judgment. I think it's easy to point and laugh at these people and ridicule their decisions and marvel at the whole ridiculousness of it. But on a human level, I feel sympathy and compassion for these people who will do anything to not be who they are. These people need help to find resolutions in themselves, and I think we can all agree as well. We've all had times in our lives where we weren't happy with who we were, but I think it's important to reflect on your own life to see what it is that's causing you to be so unhappy and having so much hate for yourself. So I think society has a huge role to play in this. Like, we have set the standard simply too high, and beauty is subjective, and I think we all need to see that there is more in us than how we look. Now, physical attraction is important, but it's not everything. And I think celebrity culture is also a very toxic attribute in this, and Hollywood really needs to change the role that they play in all of this as well. And I think we need to hold plastic surgeons to much higher ethical standards as well. But look, to be honest, this is all super complicated, and like I said, I am no expert and I do not have all the answers. I don't believe people shouldn't be allowed to have surgery or that getting work done is necessarily bad, but I think these decisions have to be made a real consideration and real evaluation. And I think, as well as having some self-reflection on what makes you want to change something physically about yourself. But I think if we can all start to believe that we're beautiful in our own ways, I think that would be a good start. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe as always if you enjoyed the video. What do you think about the plastic surgery kerfuffle that's currently in our society? Do you have any compassion towards the people who do these extreme surgeries, or do you think they're crazy? Or do you, like me, believe that there's a whole societal reason why people get these kind of procedures done? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. But as always, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.